Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3 here.
You come up to 2 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, now it's okay. Thank you. Wow, let's do this. 1 more minute.
It's okay, this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Hi, good morning, everybody. This is Andrew Lalo, Shuti president. I have a lot of questions came from my all my clients, a few thousand of these people. Basically, they just a lot of times write to me and find out, well, how do you improve their present health? Some of them are pre-diabetic, some are diabetes, some of them has many years of diabetic. Many of them came down to 1 or 2 questions still very much I thought would be great to kind of let them understand. Uh, People say, hey, I'm diabetic. How long could I live as, like long life? I say, you can live long time as long as you can able to help to continue lower your three high. And this questions actually brought out quite a few times. They think that, wow, I'm at being diabetic, maybe I will shorten my life because of that. And my doctor telling me that I have a heart problem, I have kidney problem, I have all kind of problem. But one of the things I laid out is that you really cannot stop the diabetes, but you can control it, not get worse. And that is the key. Although you already started disease, or if you are pre-diabetic, don't start the disease. And that is the most important, right? You do not start the disease. So you will continue to pre-diabetic and move yourself back to naturals below even pre-diabetic state, which is your A1C less than 5.7. But if you can able to do that, you can able to actually prevent yourself. Excuse me, got a little allergy again. Sorry. Oh, jeez. Okay, sorry about that. I have a little allergy today because the air out there is a little bit, more misty. I got misty, I got allergy. Okay. But anyway, what I'm saying to them is that even though excuse me, even though you are pre-diabetic or you are a diabetic already, you basically could still continue maintain very good health and no further potential health risk because you are controlling a three high. I think that is the most important strategies, and you have to keep up that strategy. You really cannot say, hey, I I'm a pre-diabetic. I try to do just, some exercise, lower some weight, but not consistently measure your three high, meaning that are you really having high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and high blood cholesterol? These are the number you have to continue monitor. Now, also, some Hong Kong people has been telling me, hey, my cholesterol now is 3.0, and I've been doctor tell me I have to lower to 1.8. Is really a big number. Well, the doctor actually is correct. If you are potential pre-diabetic diabetes, your cholesterol has to go down to 1.8. So this is some of the target you can go for. And a lot of people that do I need pills? Sometimes you do, and you really has to listen to the doctor. Do not just say, "Hey, I'm just going to take 1 month pill and that's it." It really doesn't work. You have to continue to drive the pill, taking cholesterol pills to help you to lower that cholesterol. Certainly, drinking low shuti will absolutely help you. Together, the combining of those Suti and your medication will give you tremendous good result. Same for the blood sugar. Now, a lot of the customer that I have who have been taking metformin 2 times a day and is getting to 1,000 milligram metformin is a lot, right? But with that low sugar tea, every day they drink, they lowered it to 500 milligram per day. And a lot of time doctors just say, okay, you can eliminate uh, metformin, but certainly many doctors just like to keep one pill at least 500 milligrams. So, but you take a lot more less pill than the if you don't do anything. Plus, we educate here. You got to change your lifestyle. And you know what? When you change your lifestyle, meaning you can take low carb diet, low fat diet, you do exercise, and you lower your weight. And exercise meaning you really do some exercise like walking stair. Like a lot of Hong Kong people actually live in an apartment. So instead of taking elevator, they walk stairs. And or they say, hey, I don't have the weather is too hot, I cannot walk. Well, buy a step master. A step master, you just do half 30-minute to 45-minute with a barbell. You just do this and do this, a barbell, and you achieve that. Plus, you continue to measure your blood sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure. Then again, a little while later, you know what? You are able to really got your sugar, your cholesterol, and your blood pressure being lowered. So really important. You have to follow through. It's not like, oh, well, I'm doing okay now, I stop. It doesn't work. It has to continue. Yeah. Excuse me a moment. And you can tell um, we have some friends who taking low tea, and they see themselves with the blood sugar lower tremendously, meaning that they used to get the A1C is 9 and dropped down to 6 and said, hey, I'm cured. And you know what? They start no longer take low tea, no longer exercise and start gaining weight. And within a couple months, the blood sugar went back up. So that means that you have to continue to keep up the consistency with the dieting, change your lifestyle, exercise, lower weight, especially the belly weight. You have to continue to get it lower. I know it's very challenging. It's very hard. It's not easy because it happened to me too. It's not easy. But if you continue have your mind doing it, you will do okay. So let's start our lecture today. I think this is going to be a very good lecture and help you to understand, well, how you can drive longevity, meaning that if you are really at the end of the day, 40 and up, now you say, hey, how I'm going to able to get longer life. And then basically, if I beat my three high naturally, I can do that. And that's today's lecture. I think this is really a nice lecture for everybody to listen. And so you can able to understand what is the requirement. And once you understand and practice it, I can show you your life, you will live longer life, healthier life, and happy life. And that is wonderful. Enjoy your grandchildren, enjoy your friends and family, and travel. This is what you got. That's the end result. And I hope that after you learn that, you can understand. Well, so today, the introduction is why three high really increase after age 40, and how that connection of the three high, meaning your blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure, why they're all connected, and how the simple habit, daily habit now, just to able to achieve this stable number, meaning that your blood sugar doesn't go up, your cholesterol doesn't go up, and your blood pressure stay normal at 120 over 90 and or 80 rather. No more than 90, it's 80 something or whatever. So you gotta have 120 over 80. That will be the great number for you. And how can we drink Moshuli can help? And so can able to understand that. That will answer some of your questions. Now today I have a lot of people attending. I don't familiarize with the name. So I always go through the 4 stage of diabetes to get everybody catch up. It's very simple. And today this lecture is even more important to understand that. Because as you go on, your LDL cholesterol, the first instant will start going up. When that increase, the LDL cholesterol actually damage the B cell coming out. The pancreas is issue out the B cell, come out the B cell, and the B cell function, it takes sugar to the cells. When B cell is damaged, you know what? The sugar is going to start increasing in the bloodstream. And then the cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, and the sugar mixed together, the blood becomes thick. And then the problems start. You're going to form plaques everywhere, the whole body. And very quickly, you move to stage 2 because this plaque from here, you get less space in the vessels. So your blood pressure is going to start going up. Now, at this stage, you have no sign of symptom. So you can do the same old life habit, everything. Very quickly, you move yourself to stage 3, which is meaning you are pre-diabetic. And when you get to pre-diabetic, the doctor, whole world measure the same thing. They call it HbA1c because everybody has hemoglobin, is red blood cells, and they measure the amount of sugar attached to this hemoglobin. If you are If A1C is below 5.7% in a percent sugar, 5.7, you are a normal person. If you're 5.7, your A1C to 6.4%, 5.7, 6.4%, you are become a pre-diabetic. Now, unfortunately, pre-diabetic say you're not diabetic, so we have no medication for you. Only thing is you have to start changing lifestyle, and this is the time you could do and improve your entire life, your health by changing the lifestyle, meaning that you have to eat low carb diet, you have to eat your low fat diet, then you have to exercise, meaning you need to do 10,000 steps a day or do a step master 30, 40 minutes per day, and then do a barbell, with the exercise like that. That will tremendously help you to really lower your risk. And then you have to also lower your weight. And if you lower 10% of your weight, meaning that you are 220 pounds, lower 10%, now you're 200 pounds. Your A1C usually drop 1%, meaning that if your A1C already 7 or 8, you drop to 7 or 7 to 6. That's really wonderful and actually really works. So try to bring down weight, especially bring down your waist here, because you have this fat belly, you get insulin resistance and the blood sugar going up, so you don't do that. Now, if you don't do anything, for example, I ignore it. Okay, sadly is in 2 to 3 years, your A1C will be surpassed 6.4, and now you will have so-called diabetes starting your whole journey. And then your sugar will just continue to go up and go up and go up. By the time 7.0% or between this time 6.4 and 7,
Doctors start giving you medication. You usually start with metformin, and then more and more medications start up. Now, during the time of pre-diabetic, you really can able to change your lifestyle, and one thing can help you is called drink low sugar tea. So what is low sugar tea? Inside there are two things in there. There's one is called guava leaves, which is delay the sugar absorption into the bloodstream. Second, that bitter melon increase the insulin sensitivity, allow the allow the sugar get absorbed back into the cells, and so you have energy. So when the cell got the sugar, they actually have feels like, they have now energy to do things. The more important thing is the excess sugar and excess LDL cholesterol and salt will be dumped off through urine. And when that urine dump off, your sugar will go lower, your cholesterol will go lower, and then your salt go lower. Your salt go lower, your blood pressure will go down. So all that are so good and so important. So net result, you will now lower your 3 high and continue to maintain lower 3 high. Now, on the other hand, it's not only just drinking a tea, you also still practice the most important with this 5 program to help you to further manage your change of lifestyle. The first thing has to go with low carb diet, low fat diet, and we have over 400 different webinar teaching you with the dieting, exercise, weight control, how to measure blood sugar, and we do it every week, 400 something. So we take a picture of this if you can, and this is the pictures, and if you want to look at, you can go on youtube.com/@CTTESLOWSUTEA/videos. So look at this. This is the place where you can look at all the previous video. And we have many friends actually have the A1C greater than 10%, drop it down to 5.7 or to under 6. The A1C will be move up and down. It's not going to continue to stay. So you have to continue to practice. And as long as under 6, you're in good shape. So you got to practice that. So that's what we do. Now, so let's get into the really dive deep into what does mean. What does it mean 3 highs? Now, as you know, high blood pressure is normally called hypertension. As one of the important issue for you because your high blood pressure is strain your heart, make heart work harder. More issue as you continue high blood pressure, work on your heart, it will damage your heart eventually. And then next one is high blood sugar. And diabetic, pre-diabetic, they all have high blood sugar. And when they have high blood pressure, sugar, they actually damage all your organ because remember, the sugar and cholesterol mix together become plaques. It form everywhere, the whole body. So it damages all many organs, including your heart, your eye, your liver, and so forth, and your kidney, all the blood vessels. So all kind of thing will be damaged, and that's very, very. That's why we try to control. Don't get high blood sugar. Plus, then you have a high cholesterol, which is the cholesterol, remember, with the blood sugar together from plaque, and start plugging all the arteries, and then you have less space, and eventually, that might clot somewhere like the heart get damaged and died, or your brain, you get stroke. So these are kind of things that you come along with 3 high. So that's why you have even the one, maybe it's not so dangerous, but it start getting high risk because high blood pressure damage your heart, right? But when you 3 come together, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and high cholesterol, man, you are more dangerous than anything else in your health. So that's why we need to manage your 3 high. Now, if you can able to manage your 3 high properly, you know what? You'll be very, very, you have extremely good the capability to manage your better health, and that's the key. Excuse me. So one question you asked, why focus on these after age 40. What's the significance of age 40? Well, when you're age 40, unfortunately, your body starts changing a lot. Your metabolism is not going to slow down, make it easier to gain weight. So a lot of ladies, men, after age 40, they start gaining weight because all that's due to the hormonal change and that affect your body processing sugar and fat. This is why many people suddenly notice, wow, how come those numbers are kind of going up? Like your blood sugar going up, your blood pressure going up, and it's also your weight start going up. And so this is why you at this time, these number, you need to start really checking by the doctor, get physical health check to better understand what this number mean to you. Does it mean is overly high already? Would you do something about it, or you're gonna start changing all the lifestyle? So one more question you might ask is, well, what this number, 3 high after age 40, why it goes up so much? And because once you age 40, unfortunately, your body become less efficient, especially you're going to start getting insulin resistant. The body is start, struggling how to control the sugar. Remember, insulin is the one that takes sugar to the cells. If this insulin doesn't work, you get more and more sugar running around the bloodstream. So your blood vessel becomes stiff. And then remember the sugar and cholesterol mixed together also form a lot of plaques. So if the vessel becomes stiff, blood pressure goes up. When you get fat lean together, with high cholesterol, it get more and more higher blood pressure. Plus, the fat is not processing properly. More and more higher cholesterol will going to come in. So all that, your fat metabolism slowing down, all that will create more and more problem for you. All these are natural change at age 40. So really, at the end of the day, there's nothing that you can do about it, but you can change your lifestyle. You can do about it to prevent any future problem. But it is just a natural occurrence, right? When you age certain age. So net result, you need to start watching and monitor what the change is going to be. Now, the sad part of all these 3 high change, there's no symptom. Basically, you are nothing happened. You don't feel it. You have no, really things that you recognize that, wow, I have some real major issues. So a lot of people just basically ignore what's happening, or they don't even know that this problem occur. But the sad part is the damaging are continue to start building up. And if you do not do anything about it, you don't monitor about it, you detect something going to happen, will come into the latest stage. And that's the reason why now with all these seminars where we learn about, we ask you to really look into, we're having high blood sugar, high blood pressure, and high blood cholesterol. And all these, by the way, tend to work together. They tend to have, if you have high blood sugar, most likely you have high blood pressure. And most likely you also have high bad cholesterol, the LDL cholesterol. And so this is reason why you have to actually go to the doctor and start checking and understand that, do you have this 3 highs there? If you have 3 high, you need to do something about it. So when you have high blood sugar and high blood pressure, usually high blood sugar, you also tend to come with high blood pressure that come together. The problem is high blood sugar, it damages all the vessel, make the the blood vessel becomes stiff. And so the blood pressure goes up. Plus, if your high blood pressure also worsens if you're diabetic, usually you also have high blood pressure also come with the diabetes disease. And then you basically have high blood sugar and high blood pressure add together. Now you have some, blood sugar control difficulties here. Because what happened is when you have high blood pressure, the high blood pressure may potential damage your heart. Plus, it also eventually affect your kidney. and you have difficulty access more sugar out from the bloodstream, and then you be basic with that, you get that worse and worse problem of high blood sugar in your blood system. And so net result, your diabetes can get worse, your body become worse because high blood sugar, high blood pressure, both is not a good symptom to have. And sad part is high blood pressure, 70% of the diabetic with diabetes will always have high blood pressure. And when you get that, you would have much more serious complication, especially heart disease and stroke. Imagine that you got high blood pressure, it damages your heart stop, you have heart disease, your heart attack, you die. If the high blood pressure affect your brain, you have a higher chance of stroke. And both of them are not good stuff. And especially when you have high blood pressure, it's not controlled, it gives you a tremendous strain to the body. It will worsen your blood sugar level over time, and bad at the future, then you have both blood pressure and blood pressure mixed together. Now you have a more difficult health situation where you need to manage. So blood pressure and blood sugar can be a problem that you really have to control. Now, the second step is when you high blood sugar and why you have high bad cholesterol. Now, the blood sugar can increase LDL production. That's the problem. When you have more LDL cholesterol comes up, plus the sugar, remember that? Then the plaques are going to form in all the vessels. Remember we said earlier, the blood sugar and the LDL cholesterol, when they mix together, they become very thick. And all the vessels start forming plaques. And the vessel become less space. And then your blood pressure also goes up. And it's difficult for the blood to flow through because there's plaques formed everywhere. So high blood pressure end up with high bad cholesterol. It start damaging the also arteries, and also getting plaque forms everywhere. And also with that, the plaques tend to lock up area of the heart or the brain, and you end up with potential risk of stroke and also heart attack. So now you understand the whole picture now. Remember, high blood sugar going up, it forms plaques everywhere, and then the blood pressure goes up. Even all those long-term clotting, and end up will be maybe your heart, maybe your brain, and then you have potential stroke and heart attack. So that's not good. Now, if I'm a diabetic or pre-diabetic, and you have really can affect your all the cholesterol level going up, and it contributes a couple of things, three things actually. Your high blood sugar can be elevated, and increase your triglyceride, and decrease your HDL cholesterol, which HDL cholesterol is take the LDL cholesterol out of the circulation. So you gotta have high HDL cholesterol. So net result, your cholesterol will continue to get high because LDL go down. I mean, HDL go down, LDL go up. And then also because of the fact that you have high blood sugar, it's really make it more difficult to control your cholesterol and lipid. Now, one more thing that it comes on, which will have more effect, is because now you have all these high blood sugar, high cholesterol, and if you're high, and glycemic index are poor, your blood sugar can always go up, and always can sugar also down. Now, one more thing that you might not aware comes in is the insulin resistance, because as you grow older, your blood vessel tend to become less flexible, and your risk of high blood pressure is also increased. And on top of that, because of the insulin resistance, so no more sugar are not being placed into the cells, but it's circulate into the stream. With that, you are continue with the blood sugar and the cholesterol mixed together, the blood become thick and continue to form plaque entire body. So net result, you will have long-term damage to all the major organ, including heart and also your kidney, everything, brain. So you now create a situation that insulin resistance become a more issue as we move on, get older, because that is where problem is going further hamper your body health. Now, with that, commonly for pre-diabetic diabetes, because of the insulin resistant, you start getting inflammation throughout the body, okay? And with that, with the inflammation increase, you lead yourself to even further diabetic complication because you got inflammations, you're going to start getting kidney disease, cardiovascular disease. All these are changing together with your cholesterol going up, with sugar added on to the cholesterol, the blood becomes thick, it's got inflammation, and then you will continue to get higher blood cholesterol with sugar mixed together, more plaques are being formed, and then your complication will be, your diabetic complication will be continue to come along. This is why it's so important. You have to manage your blood sugar first thing well, so you don't get the blood sugar very high amount and it makes up the blood cholesterol become thick and plaque form everywhere. So very important. You don't want to do that, right? So you want to make sure the sugar doesn't go up, causing more and more inflammation, and also you don't want to get more diabetic complications that come along with that. So really, at the end of the day, you think about it, it's very simple. Now, the key here is insulin resistance. So your sugar start going up, okay? Insulin resistance start moving in. So that's mean the insulin no longer takes sugar into the cells. Insulin no longer takes sugar in the cells. So net result of that, a lot of time you start getting weight gain, getting fat basically, and accommodate with many of you are including with poor lifestyle, healthy, move, exercise, and your insulin resistant are continue to go higher. Net result, your blood is going to start forming with the cholesterol. We're going to get a lot of plaques formed throughout the body. So when a plaque form, your arteries become damaged, including going to damage all the heart, major organ. And on top of that, as you're going up, the cholesterol go up, your blood pressure go up. And in addition, that your cholesterol also go up. And really, at the end of the day, it becomes a vicious cycle. And the key here is you don't want to continue getting plaques everywhere to form, mutilate, to plaquing your major organ. Because you have that happen, eventually the complication will be very bad for you because it all come from the plugging up your arteries. You damage your arteries, damage your plaques of all the major organ. So diabetes is the major issue. You want to really prevent that. Now, with the 3 high, net result, because of vessels, it start forming plaques everywhere. Eventually, you got risk of stroke, and you're going to have potential stroke or dementia because the blood going through here, it can't reach the back of the cells or the brain cell, wherever. Either you can choke them off and they die and you get stroke, or they're limited blood supply. You start getting memories getting less and less, potential become dementia. This is going to all start from that blocking of the vessels. And then you might have glaucoma, cataract, same thing. The eye, the vessels that cannot passing through. due to the cholesterol and the sugar mixed together, and so it's damaging the eye, the vessel, so you can start blur, cannot see. Your pancreas is start damaging in the insulin. The worst yet is start involving your major organ, like your heart disease. Because if you block the heart, certain muscle cannot pass through, the heart will stop and you die. Or you damage the kidney. And as you know, if you damage your kidney is not gonna function, cannot filter anymore. You're gonna end up with dialysis. You don't want to do that. Or your wound get damaged and it doesn't heal, you might end up cut up your wound, your leg. So you can, then because of diabetic, you have to cut up the leg. It's really sad. You can't walk anymore. You have to sit on wheelchairs. And also high blood pressure because of the fact that the vessel becomes very hardened, and that's high blood pressure continuously and damage again all the major organs. Pregnancy could be a complication. 30% of diabetic patients do not have sexual will have sexual dysfunction. The reason is they can't feel because of the fact that the nerve are damaged. And plus, if you get coronary artery disease, nerve damage, wow, man, that is, you have both two major issues. You have a heart issue and a heart disease issue, a brain issue and heart disease. So both of them are severe and important damage that might affect your really long life, if you will, because you heart attack, you die, you have stroke, you also potential die, and very poor quality of life because you stroke, you can't move anymore. So really, if you lower your 3 high, all these are potential risks will be eliminated, or at least you decrease the chances to get this disease. So these are the kind of things that you really need to think about. That's why I said if you lower your 3 high, you will have definitely higher and better chance to live very, very long. So how do you decrease the 3 high then? Very simple, basically really simple. You need to have eating a healthy diet. Basically have low salt, high fruits, vegetable, whole grain, lean protein, low carb. So all that will be part of that healthy diet. With that, you don't have to have excess weight, meaning that you have to lower your weight. If you can lower 10% of weight, will be extremely benefit, lower your 3 high. Okay. Plus, it actually decreases your insulin resistance. So with lower your body weight, you definitely can lower your 3 high. Now, with that including is regular exercise, meaning you have to walk 10,000 steps a day. So I cannot do that. No problem. Get a step master at home, watching TV with a barbell. Do that every day with, moving up and down like this, and then the step master going this. Now, you might say, well, how do I know I'm really doing excessive or good exercise? You going up and down like this, you basically, if you feel that I'm doing this, I start sweating, I can't really talk too much, you're doing the right exercise amount already, because the key is you're going to get your heart to start moving faster, and you're sweating, you're opening your body with, a barbell going up and down. So that will be real good. The second thing, you have to quit smoking. You really cannot continue to smoke, because smoking actually damage health, damage your lung, and actually does not lower your if you smoke, it actually increase your 3 high. And so it really give you all kind of problems. So when you quit smoking, lower your 3 high, reduce all your risks. And then you can reduce alcohol consumption, meaning that you get 1 drink of red wine is fine for men, for women, and man maybe two, but as strict as little as possible can also help you to lower 3 high, because like drinking a glass of beer or wine has a lot of sugar. So again, it will do actually increase your 3 high. Now, a lot of people don't think about is manage your stress, because if you can manage your stress, meaning that you do meditation, deep breathing, if you're stressed, you exercise, all those can lower your blood pressure, improve your overall health. So net result, really at the end of the day, the focus here, really you got to lower your 3 high, meaning lower your blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure. So why Lo Shu tea? Because Lo Shu tea really an actual herbal tea. There's no caffeine there. You can drink it daily and can lower your blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure. As I mentioned, how does it work? Because there is guava leaf delay the sugar back to the vessels, and bitter melon increase the insulin sensitivity, take the sugar back to the cell. Excess sugar, cholesterol, and salt will dump out through urine. Net result, 3 high will come down, meaning your blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure will come down. So you support your overall wealthy overall health. Okay. So in conclusion, as I said, you want to live long life. Really, you have to think about naturally how do you lower your 3 high. As you know, if you're age 40, your body's gonna start changing. And if you're able to know awareness of this change and take it seriously, control the blood pressure going up or blood sugar going up or cholesterol, all these conditions are all connected. But if you control them not to go up, then you are able to improve your health tremendously. And all that is very simple. You take very simple, constant action to basically eat better, move more, and manage stress. And all these are so important to give you a long-term change, basically. If you can continue starting this habit and continue work on it. You can also think about Lo Shu tea, which is a part of your routine. Drinking Lo Shu tea can definitely help you to balance and support your blood sugar, cholesterol, and your blood pressure. With that, you can able to really lower that 3 high. And ultimately, if you continue to lower the 3 high, you have a longer and healthy life because you no longer have a 3 high damaging your organ and all the vessels giving you potential stroke. And if you can continue to build that habit, you know what, at the end of the day, you have long-lasting result to leading you with no limited 3 high. Don't go high. You control. You have a healthy habit, and net result, you will achieve longevity, meaning you can achieve long health, healthy health, and then live throughout to see your grandchildren, enjoy life throughout the years, travel. But again, your 3 high are continue maintained in a regular normal levels, and you'll be healthy and you live throughout to be 90, 100 years old. And that's what the message is going to be. So I hope you are now understand what can give you longevities. Really, the most important is to control your 3 high. Don't let them go up. Get them to be in a healthy level. That will be the secret for today's lectures. All right. Thank you very much. I hope that you have questions. Do ask me at Andy, ANDY, at WAHFONG.com, Andy@wafong.com, or write to me at WhatsApp also, 852 country code, phone number 6792-8891. We would love to hear from you, and we do that all the time. A lot of people do ask me to have certain type of lecture being want to ask, and I think that will be very good. Down the road, we can give the type of lecture you request. We do that quite often. Or they have questions to ask me, oh, what happened to this? What how can what can I do? Give you one example of a person actually from Hong Kong asked me, oh, my blood cholesterol continue to be very high. They start with 6 and even 4, it doesn't come down. And I said, maybe you need to start seeing a cardiologist because you don't do that, you don't know how much plaquing, how many your plaques are being formed in your heart vessels. That's the most important. If your heart vessel becomes, if the plaques are plugging your heart vessels, even though you look real healthy, you don't feel any issues, but you don't know how much blockage you have. And one day you suddenly you have that blockage block a certain part of the heart vessel, the heart will stop and you will die. So basically, these are kind of questions that people ask that I did answer, and they go to see a doctor and they find out, wow, actually my heart actually has a very high blockage, and end up to do a angioplasty, and so basically become healthy from there on. So anyway, this is some of the things that we actually come across, and you can able to ask question. I might not have all the answer, but at least I can indicate where to go after that. All right, you take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice weekend. Thank you very much for joining our seminar. Looking forward to talk to you next time. Bye-bye.